Welcome aboard to flameflash.net, episode 44. 44. Or in the South, I guess it would be far, depending on who you talk to. Anyway, sorry for the little poke there, Southerners. The Raptor Report. We'll start on that. Yeah. Diablo 3 beta. Went in, tinkered around a little bit on the Witch Doctor. Not for long. It was nice to see that this character class is actually both ranged and melee. So it might be one to for me to definitely consider when going in to the full real game whenever it finally releases. Zuma Deluxe. That's right. I played Zuma. I got Zuma. There's not much to say about Zuma except that it's Zuma. You're the happy little frog that spins around and you click with your mouse to shoot balls of various colors and match them up, and then they explode. It's a fun, zen encouraging puzzle game. There's not much more a person can say about it. The Sims 3. So, went back into The Sims, started playing, and I realized, well, crap. All the changes in pets kind of negates having all of my Sims in the various neighborhoods that they were in. Because, as I've mentioned before, they don't plan well. So, the original Sims 3 neighborhood doesn't easily house the other stuff. And the next neighborhood that comes in doesn't house that new stuff. And it continues. Just look at this new Showtime. I'm sure that's going to introduce a brand new neighborhood yet again that I'm going to have to go and set up. So I actually made sure that my household pets were created, because I somehow managed to lose them, and installed in the right house. And then I step back and I'm going to wait. I hope to pick up the Katy Perry Ultimate Edition or whatever it's called of Showtime fairly soon. Fingers crossed. We'll just wait and see. And then I'll give it another shot. Probably do a new neighborhood, fix it up, make it just how I like it, and we'll wait and see. Showtime's features seem like they add just enough to close out any desire to move forward. But if you haven't seen the Katy Perry Showtime trailer, it's worth YouTube searching for. It's excellent. They did a very good job of what looks like all in-game renderings, with probably some tweaks by EA, since they are EA, the lords of Sims. But it's a good trailer. It made me more interested in the expansion than I otherwise was. And as I mentioned last week, those social features really weird me out. I'm very curious about what those can bring. Magic the Gathering, Duels of the Planeswalkers. Believe this was, well, it's flagged as 3 hours, so I think this is probably a good, solid gaming experience with friends. My timing's a little bit off, since I recorded on Thursday the full podcast last week. Everybody's better, by the way, for the most part. Red Flare is to bed early, but otherwise I think she's doing better. Or almost better. Not dead yet. Feeling better. Think I'll go for a walk now. Sorry. Anyway. Civ 5. Son was the one to play Civ 5 on, I think it was Monday night. He enjoys it. It was mind-boggling to me to think that there I was in his place at his age playing Civ 2 demos, going as fast and as hard as I could to gunpowder to get those musketeers, and then of course I'd hit that turn cap and the demo would cut off and I'd be sad. Eventually I did get the full version of Civ 2. Even went out and purchased Civ 2 Test of Time, the extra version that had the multi-maps function. Quite enjoyed it. I liked, for instance, the science fiction scenario, though I never could get fully engrossed in that one. They were all still fun. But it's amazing to look now at him playing Civ 5 and, proudly proclaiming, I went to war. These guys demanded gold from me, and I said no, and I went to war, and I kicked their butts. I don't think he said it exactly like that, but the satisfaction that Civ is bringing to an entire new generation, it pleases me greatly. Finally, wow, World of Warcraft. Thanks to the illnesses, did not do as much in-game as I would have liked the last week and through the week, but did manage to get the Jub Jub Frog. So the egg finally hatched on Sunday, and so all 10 of my Alliance characters now proudly have Jub Jub, or a Jub Jub hatchling. I forget exactly what the name of the pet is called, but another pet for the repertoire. Probably will help the son and daughter get a Jub Jub next month. Totally forgot to do so this month around. They didn't play much either because of being sick. But we did manage to get on the last day a egg for Red Flare's main druid. And so next weekend, this coming weekend, she'll be able to get that hatched egg and get a new pet. Speaking of which, Son doesn't know this yet. He has a spectral griffin waiting for him. Okay, I probably said that too softly. He has a spectral griffin waiting for him. Haha! Friend of mine, thank you, Lewd Dude, went and accepted his invite. We slipped him the game time code. He was doing it as a favor, and so out of it he'll get the level 80 alt if he so chooses, and we get the month of WoW free, quote unquote, since we're the ones that sent the code. But he gets that spectral griffin. That was the most important thing for him. So the Son thanks you, Lewd Dude, even though he doesn't know it yet. He'll probably find out this weekend as we push for harder to level 85. But speaking of leveling, my priest is now 63, and my hunter is now 74, I think it is. So I'm not doing too shabbily. I, for some reason, have gone back to alts. It must be that time of the expansion where I'm now playing alts. Not like I was really playing the expansion much before, but now back to alts, back to leveling a little bit. We'll probably press forward and start doing some of the original heroics of Cataclysm just to get the achievements, get some rep, start banking some justice points for Mists of Pandaria, and then, just as I did on my Warlock and Druid, hit 85, get better gear. This time around, after taking expansion off, I hope to maybe get back into raiding. We'll just have to wait and see what the guild has in store for us there. I'm looking forward to the mists. I'm looking forward to the pandas. Who knows? With the account-wide achievements, depending on how that works, I might be able to even switch to being a panda tank healer. Depends on how the class works, how it feels, how it looks. It'll smell like a panda. Right? I'd assume so. Anyway, the Raptor report was short, partially because I'm slightly off of my schedule, or rocker, or both, and slightly because everybody's still been getting better. So, anyway, what about some news? So there's an anti-Occupy law, for instance, that was signed into service. Includes a fine and the possibility of 1 year in prison, even. It's exceedingly vague as to what you can't occupy. It's technically helping to clarify free speech zones around the president and other higher public officials, but it could easily be abused if it was so inspired to do so. So it's one of those things to wait and watch and hope that it's handled properly. I can understand slightly shielding our leaders from angry birds who like to throw things and therefore put them in zones. It's a heck of a lot easier to do that than pass everybody through security. It makes sense. But at the same time, these leaders should be hearing and seeing these dissenters just as openly as they hear any yes men that they've surrounded themselves with. It's one of those catch-22s of democracy, I suppose, or representative republics, as it were. Speaking of angry birds, hey, see that segue? Didn't see that one coming, did you? The Angry Birds in space. Alright. Think Mario Galaxy smushed together with Angry Birds. So you're going to have planetoids where the pigs have built on, and these planetoids will impact gravity in various ways and have various gravity wells. So you can't fire into hyperdrive without being outside of the gravity well. Well, same is true with an angry bird. It will just keep going in a straight line unless you have gravity wells to help direct it and loop it into your target. So the angry birds in space aren't just going to go flying out forever. There is a plan. There is a plan in place. Other unique games out on the horizon. Mario, the Super Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Brothers meets Portal, is out now. Only download it. Only download it from the original source. Horrible URL name, but I'm going to say it anyway. Stabyourself.net. Only download it from there. They've had some reports on their blog that elsewhere people are downloading and getting a little extra surprise in their Mario package, aka malware. So don't do it. Don't download it anywhere else. It's free! So just go to the URL, stabyourself.net. Horrible name. But anyway, go there, grab your free game, try it out. I have it here. I'm just probably waiting until this weekend to give it a shot. Alright. So, speaking of malware, there is supposedly a rumor. Well, it's been on Slashdot for crying out loud, so it's not even a supposedly. But there's an anonymous OS. No. No, there's not. There is no such thing. It is malware. Plain and simple. Some jerk wanted to get everybody all excited that, hey, Anonymous is now putting out an operating system. No. The level of organization required to program an operating system would completely undermine the entire point of an organization, like Anonymous. It's not an organization. So, it can't get together and make an operating system. And even if it could, that's not the point. The point is to question the current establishment. That's the point. To raise questions. To point out hypocrisy within. They even do it amongst themselves. Look at the LulzSec or Anti-Sec, the group that was recently busted by the FBI. Won't go into that, mentioned it last week. So, speaking of hypocrisy, AT&T was sued for limiting unlimited data plans. And the guy won! Now, this was in California Small Claims Court, I believe. I may be mixing my lawsuits that I read about tonight. But it was in Small Claims Court. The man was awarded either $300 or $800. Paltry sum. He wasn't suing for money. He was suing for the principle of the fact that they were limiting an unlimited data plan. If I'm charging $30 a month, ballparking it, I have no idea what AT&T's pricing structure is. So, with that disclaimer in mind, if I'm paying $30 a month for an unlimited data plan, and AT&T is now selling a 3 gigabyte a month data plan, well, which one am I going to stick with? I'm going to stick with my grandfathered in unlimited plan. Duh. Well, now AT&T is saying no. If you're on the unlimited plan, you're actually on the 3 gig plan. We're just not going to charge you if you go over. We're going to start throttling you instead, pulling back, slowing you down. Well, I can certainly understand how that can be considered unfair. I have no idea how I would manage to hit 3 gigs of data in a month. I barely hit 1 gig. I don't think I hit half a gig of data. But then I'm using my phone for Twitter and occasionally uploading pictures. Occasionally. So maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm not using my smartphone enough to be smart. But the guy sued and he won. And he sent out his documentation and made it live on the web so that others might follow in his footsteps and pursue them as well. I guess he also broke the contract by tethering his phone, which might explain how he actually managed to hit the 3 gig cap. What I don't understand is, why does AT&T say no to tethering? And why are you with a company that says no to tethering? T-Mobile. Sure, I don't have an iPhone yet, but I can tether. And I can tether included in my plan. No issues. No problem. It's exceedingly slow, but then I don't have a 4G network around to really test and feel the power of Grayskull. Sorry. Really bad 80s reference there. Sorry. I apologize profusely. Anyway. So getting back on track. Star Wars, the MMO. If you're interested, now is the time to check it out. As of tomorrow, March 15th, through March 19th, it's a free-for-all. It's an open free-for-all. Literally. So, if you don't have an active account, if you've never had an active account, I was signed up for the beta, so I probably qualify. You can play for free. Now, you don't get the whole enchilada. I believe you get to play the starting areas of all of the 8 races, classes, or what have you. And then you have some access to what I think are considered battlegrounds in World of Warcraft terms. So you're allowed a taste of the game. Free to play for this weekend. Not a bad publicity stunt. Personally, I'd like to see them focus more on switching over and getting a Mac client out, please. I'm not signing up for Origin. I'm not agreeing to the terms of service of Origin, and I am therefore not going to play Star Wars. Just a fact of life. Now, if you release it on Mac, you don't have Origin on Mac. Please don't put Origin on Mac. I recall going and having to reset my password for Sims 3 and finding out, well, sir, you really should be not playing it on a Mac. Seriously? They told me this point blank. Because if you were playing it on a PC, you'd have Origin, and I stopped him right there. Like, nope, I'm not agreeing to the terms of service of Origin. What's nice is, he didn't argue with me after that. He just, no problem. We'll reset your password, we'll fix you up. The stupid thing is, the reason I called, EA's Sims 3 password, which, you know, applies to all of the now Origin-based accounts, doesn't say it has password rules that require numbers, at least one capital letter, and at least one lowercase letter. It doesn't say that anywhere as you're changing your password. So, I didn't know. I kept resetting my password and couldn't get in. I wanted the stuff I had gotten. You know, the Sims stuff. But there's a little tip regarding Origin and EA passwords. But aside from Star Wars having this free session, they have 1.7 million people playing now. 1.7 million people. That's approximately how many people World of Warcraft lost. Just saying. Say we're at 12. Anyway. 1.7 million people and holding. That's the important thing. So, they've converted now over from that free 30 months, free quote unquote, 30 days, 30 months. Wow, then I'd buy it. Then I'd sign up for Origin. But they've gone past that 30-day window for most players at this point. They have paying subscribers of 1.7 million now. I salute thee, Star Wars. Good work. Last but not least, Xbox Live achievements are going to be doubling. That's right. Not your gamer score, but the amount of achievements and achievement points you can get per game. So, 200 is now 400. Xbox Live arcade games, there's some kind of nearing cutoff date where any game released after that is going to have the inflated score, gamer score achievements. Must be getting tired. But there it is. So, new games coming out, old games can get patched from the sound of it. You can possibly increase your gamer score by just buying new games after the deadline, which is coming up. This is not going to have an impact on, say, the exact same game that's released on Xbox Live also being released on the PSN. Sony has their own unique system, which they haven't publicized, regarding who gets how many trophies. It's all about the game depth. Supposedly, the game content and depth and how much it has as far as the downloadable titles are concerned. Disc-based, they all have platinums. But the depth matters. So, in the console wars, gamer scores, trophy counts, you're not going to probably be able to run them as parallel as you used to. I'm okay with that. I like my trophies, but for some reason I'm not driving forth to get Xbox Live achievements. Don't know why. Yet, in World of Warcraft, I heavily run for all of the achievements. Who knew? Finally, a word to the wise, parents. Own your kids' social network passwords. Now, what I mean is, save them to your computer and don't tell your kids what they are. Leave them logged in. Give them their own login. Log them in. Their own login on your computer, their own profile. The current operating systems can all do it. XP, heck, can do it. I don't remember how long it's been since Mac has been able to do it. But go back, make your kids their own username and profile on your computer. Let them save their passwords there. And don't let them know their passwords. Now, why am I saying this? Because a Minnesota school recently demanded that a student hand over her Facebook profile password so that they could see the supposedly scandalous "this hall monitor person is being mean to me" anti-posts. Seriously? The poor girl handed them right over. They probably threatened and hemmed and hawed, etc. But had she not had access, that would have been that extra layer of protection for her. Be perfectly honest with your kids. Tell them why. You are helping them remove a problem source. So if the school administration comes to them and says, "I want your password to Facebook," they can honestly say, "Call my parents. I don't have it." What? Seriously. I don't have it. Call my parents. Because that's what you should be doing in the first place. Can't believe the audacity of that school, actually. It was one in Minnesota. Can't remember the town now. But, no. You don't do that to a kid. At all. And boy, if you try to do it to mine, there's going to be some trouble. And I'll leave you with that pleasant thought. For I am Flame Flash. I'm Flame Flash on the PlayStation Network. Go PlayStation Plus, by the way. Nothing new out there right now on PlayStation Plus that's overly huge or interesting, but have to give it a little plug now and then. Flame Flash 82 over on the Xbox, though I'm not on it very much. I'm Flame Flash over at Raptor.com. There, you can find me in pretty much every other gaming platform or game, Steam. Hey, I'm Flame Flash. Surprise, surprise. Flame Flash on Twitter as well. You see the trend here? The trend? Yeah. I'm pretty sure, by the way, the only reason I had to sign up with Flame Flash 82 on Xbox is because my old Hotmail account, which had since burned out, was flameflash@hotmail.com. Well, it was already still on file enough that I couldn't make a gamer tag associated with it. At least that's my current running assumption. Never been able to change it. Oh well. On flameflash.net, we have a like page that you can go and, hit like on for Facebook. It's actually on flameflash.net if you have trouble searching for it. We have a little button box to do so. I think it's over to the left. Your left. When looking at the screen. If you're looking at the YouTube video posted on flameflash.net. But I'll leave you with that. Go glance over. And this has been episode 44 of flameflash.net. Thanks for stopping by.